Hello, and welcome to a brand new A2 level podcast story. Today, we begin a long, exciting adventure about a boy, a mysterious map, and the forest full of secrets. So, relax, get comfortable, and enjoy part one of the mysterious forest map. Tom was a 13-year-old boy who lived in a small and quiet village. His life was simple: go to school, help his parents, play outside, and sleep early. Nothing special ever happened in this village until one strange evening. Tom was in the attic of his house looking for an old photo album. The attic was dark and dusty. Boxes were everywhere, and old furniture was covered with white sheets. As he moved a big box, something thin and rolled up fell to the floor. It was an old paper map. Tom picked it up carefully. It looked very old, yellow, torn on the sides, and covered in symbols he didn't understand. At the top, in large letters, it said, "The Whispering Forest, a New Path." Tom frowned. What? The Whispering Forest? That forest is only 5 minutes from my house. But nobody can enter it. It's dangerous. People say the trees move at night. He opened the map more. There were tiny drawings of animals, waterfalls, caves, and something very strange. At the center of the map, surrounded by red circles, was a symbol of a glowing stone. Under the symbol, a sentence said, "Find this stone, and the forest will trust you." Tom felt his heart beat faster. What does that mean? And who drew this? Before he could think more, he heard his mom calling, "Tom, dinner is ready." He quickly rolled the map and hid it inside his jacket. That night, Tom couldn't sleep. He kept thinking, why was the map in my attic? What is the glowing stone? Why does the forest need to trust someone? The questions grew bigger and bigger in his mind. And then Tom made a decision. Tomorrow morning, he would go into the Whispering Forest alone. He didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of the biggest adventure of his life. The next morning, Tom woke up before the sun rose. His room was quiet, and the sky outside was still dark blue. He sat up in his bed and whispered to himself, "Today is the day. I am going into the forest." He felt excited, but also scared. His hands were shaking a little. He put the map in his backpack, along with a bottle of water, a flashlight, a sandwich, and a small notebook to write things down. He opened his window slowly and climbed outside so his parents would not hear him. The air was cold, and a soft wind moved the leaves on the trees. Tom started walking toward the Whispering Forest. The forest entrance. The entrance of the forest looked darker and bigger than usual. Tom stopped for a moment. The trees were tall, very tall, and their branches looked like arms reaching out. He whispered, "Okay, you can do this." He took one deep breath and stepped inside. The forest was quiet, too quiet. No birds, no insects, no sounds of water, only silence. Tom opened the map. On the map, the first mark was a picture of a small bridge. "Okay, I need to find the bridge first, Tom said. He followed a thin path through the trees. The wooden bridge. After 15 minutes of walking, Tom saw something in the distance. It was old, broken, and covered in moss. The wooden bridge. But something strange happened. When Tom walked closer, he heard a soft sound, like whispering. Turn back. Turn back. Tom froze. Who said that? He whispered. Nobody was there. Only the trees standing still, and yet somehow moving a little in the wind. He walked onto the bridge slowly, step by step. Creak, crack. The wood made scary sounds, but the bridge did not break. Tom looked at the map again. After the bridge, he needed to find a small river. He continued walking. The River of Echoes. After some time, Tom heard the sound of water. He pushed some bushes aside and saw a narrow river. The water was very clear, and he could see small fish swimming. But suddenly, the river made a strange echo. Who are you? Tom stepped back. I'm Tom, he said softly. The echo answered again. Why are you here? Tom looked around, but no one was there. He felt scared, but then he remembered the sentence on the map. Find the stone, and the forest will trust you. So he said, I'm here to understand the forest. I want to help. The river became quiet. Then the water started to glow softly, like moonlight. A small stone rolled toward Tom from the edge of the river. It was blue, smooth, and warm. Tom picked it up carefully. Is this part of the puzzle? He wondered. He put the glowing stone into his backpack. Strange footprints. Tom continued deeper into the forest. Then he saw something on the ground. Footprints. But not normal footprints. They were too big for a human, too small for a bear, and had 4 long toes. Tom whispered, What kind of animal is this? He followed the footprints slowly. The trees around him grew thicker and thicker. The light grew darker, and the whispers grew louder. Be careful. Not alone. Someone is watching. Tom felt his heart beating fast, but he kept going. The creature in the mist. Suddenly, a white mist filled the path. Tom could not see anything. Then he heard breathing. Deep, slow, breathing. A shape appeared in the fog. Tall, shadowy, with glowing eyes. Tom couldn't move. The creature stepped forward, and the earth shook slightly beneath it. Tom slowly lifted his backpack and took out the glowing stone from the river. The creature stopped. Its eyes looked at the stone. Then the creature spoke in a deep, soft voice. You carry the first key. Tom swallowed hard. What are you? The creature stepped closer and said, I am a guardian of the whispering forest. You have entered a place many fear, but you carry a map. And you carry courage." Tom felt a small spark of pride. The guardian pointed deeper into the forest. "You must find the second key. It is hidden in the Cave of Reflections. But be careful. The cave shows more than light. It shows the truth." Then the mist disappeared and the guardian was gone. Tom took a deep breath. The adventure was becoming bigger, stranger, and much more dangerous. But he wasn't going to stop now. He walked forward toward the cave, ready for whatever waited inside. Tom walked deeper into the forests, and suddenly the sunlight began to fade. The tall trees blocked the sky, and everything became darker and darker. He looked around and whispered, "Why does it feel different here?" The air felt colder, the wind stopped. Even the birds were silent. Tom checked the old map again. In the corner, there was a drawing of a giant tree with the words, "The Guardian Tree. Only the brave may pass." Tom gulped. Guardian? A tree can't be a guardian, right? He continued walking carefully. Each step made the dried leaves crack loudly under his shoes. The forest felt like it was watching him. Whispering voices return. Suddenly, Tom heard something. "Turn back. Go home. It is not your path." Soft, echoing whispers surrounded him. Tom closed his eyes. "These voices are not real," he told himself. "It's just the forest or my imagination." But when he opened his eyes, the trees in front of him had moved. They were blocking the path. He gasped. This forest is alive, really alive. Tom walked slowly toward the trees and gently touched one. "Please," he whispered, "I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to understand the map." A moment of silence. Then the trees slowly moved aside, opening a small path only wide enough for one person. Tom's eyes widened. They accepted me. They let me through. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. The Guardian Tree. After walking about 10 minutes, the forest suddenly opened into a small clearing. In the center stood the biggest tree Tom had ever seen. Its roots were thick like walls. Its branches spread across the sky like giant arms. Its bark shined with a soft golden light. "This must be the Guardian Tree," he whispered. He approached slowly. The tree made a low, deep sound, almost like breathing. Then, a glowing blue eye appeared on the trunk. Tom froze. The tree spoke in a slow, echoing voice. "Why have you come here, child?" Tom's heart raced, his legs trembled, but he knew he had to answer. I found a map in my attic. It shows a glowing stone in this forest. I want to know what it means. I want to help if I can." The blue eye watched him silently for a few seconds. Then the tree said, "Many enter this forest with fear. Many enter with greed. But you entered with curiosity and courage." The tree's branches moved gently, like a nod. "You may continue your journey." A glowing symbol appeared on the ground, a shape of a leaf made of light. Tom knelt and touched it. Suddenly, a wave of warm energy moved through his body. He felt stronger. He felt braver. He felt connected to the forest. The Guardian Tree spoke again. Follow the path of a light. The stone you seek is real, but danger is real too. Be wise, young traveler. The glowing leaf turned into a trail of little lights leading deeper into the forest. Tom stood up and smiled nervously. "Thank you," he said. And with that, he continued the adventure, not knowing that something or someone was silently following him between the trees. Tom stood in complete silence, staring at the strange glowing footprints on the ground. They looked like animal tracks, but not from any animal he knew. Each print shone with a soft blue light, and when Tom crouched down to touch one, he felt a cool breeze rush past him, even though the air was still. "What kind of creature leaves glowing footprints?" Tom whispered. He looked again at the map. The new mark, glowing on the page, matched the shape of the prints exactly. "This map, it knows where I am," he said quietly, almost afraid to hear his own voice. The forest around him felt different now. The air was heavier, the trees seemed taller, and every sound, the rustling leaves, the distant owl, even Tom's own breathing, felt louder than before. But Tom didn't turn back. He followed the glowing tracks deeper into the whispering forest. A strange warning. After a few minutes, the prince stopped near a large tree. This tree was unlike any other he had seen. Its trunk was wide and twisted, and there were strange lines carved into the bark, almost like writing. Tom reached out to touch it, but the moment his fingers brushed the bark, whoosh! A burst of cold wind wrapped around him, spinning his hair and jacket. The branches above him shivered, even though there was no breeze anywhere else. And then, a voice. Soft, deep, and not human. "Turn back or be changed." Tom stumbled backward, heart racing. Who said that?" he shouted. No one answered. The tree stopped moving. The forest fell silent again. Tom gulped and stepped forward. "I'm not turning back. My map brought me here. I need answers." The forest didn't reply. It simply watched. The floating light. As Tom continued, the forest suddenly grew darker, as if clouds covered the sun, though he couldn't see the sky through the thick leaves. Then ahead of him, something appeared. A light, small, floating, like a firefly, but brighter. It bobbed gently, as if inviting him forward. Tom hesitated. "Are you showing me the way?" he asked. The light blinked twice. Tom took that as a yes. He followed it through narrow paths, under low branches and over mossy rocks. Every few steps, the light looked back, as if checking that Tom was still behind him. After several minutes, it stopped in front of a fallen tree. The tree was huge, split open in the middle. Inside the split was a small wooden box. Tom's eyes widened. This wasn't in the map," he whispered. The floating light blinked again, brighter this time, as if it were excited. Tom reached inside and pulled out the box. It was surprisingly heavy. He opened it slowly. Inside was a round stone, about the size of an apple. Its surface was covered in tiny symbols, the same ones he saw on the map in the attic. But the most shocking part was this. The stone was warm like a living thing. As Tom held it, the forest around him seemed to react. The leaves rustled, the light grew brighter,
The ground itself felt like it was pulsing softly, like a heartbeat. And then, flash! The stone glowed bright gold. Tom dropped it in surprise and stepped back. When he looked up, the floating light was gone. But now, in its place, stood a tall figure. Not human, not animal. A creature made of branches, leaves, and glowing veins of green light. Its eyes were bright yellow, like lanterns. Tom froze. The forest creature looked at him and spoke in a calm, deep voice. "You have touched the Heartstone, so now the forest knows you." Tom's breath caught in his throat. What does that mean?" he whispered. The creature stepped closer. "It means your adventure has only just begun."